Good morning, dear students. Now today we will discuss the metallurgy of copper or the extraction of copper from their oxide as well as their sulfide ores. So as we know that copper constitute only 0.0001% of the earth crust, and they found in nature in the native as well as in combined form. And if we see in the combined form, the more common ores are copper pyrite or chalcopyrite. The formula is CuFeS2, chalcocite or copper glance Cu2S, cuprite, that is red in color, Cu2O, malachite, CuCO3.CuOH whole twice, green in color, azurite, that is 2CuCO3.CuOH whole twice, blue in color. So before starting the metallurgy, let's see the thermodynamic principle of reduction of copper oxide to copper. As we are able to see, that is the Ellingham diagram between del G and temperature gives free energy change and temperature. Here we are able to see four graphs. The first one is the copper to copper oxide. Next one is carbon to carbon monoxide, carbon to carbon dioxide, and carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. As we are able to see, the copper to copper oxide graph is almost at the top, while other are below the graph of the copper to copper oxide. And as we have already discussed in the features of thermodynamic principles, or as you may say the Ellingham diagram, that which are below, in the Ellingham diagram they can reduce the metal from their oxides. So it means they all are able to reduce the copper oxide to copper. But as we are able to see that 500 to 600 Kelvin, the most appropriate reducing agent would be coke, because here we are able to see around 400 Kelvin. Here as we are able to see that if I'll draw a line here, so around 350 to 400 Kelvin would be there. So here we are able to see that graph is above the graph of copper to copper oxide. So I may say that 500 to 600 Kelvin would be the appropriate temperature at which copper oxide can be reduced to copper with the help of coke. So from the following graph, from 500 to 600 Kelvin, copper oxide can be reduced to copper with coke. But most of the ores of copper are sulfides, and they are also having the impurities you may say they are also having the iron sulfide also. So the ores first go through the roasting process by which iron is removed. Copper sulfide is converted to the copper oxide. Like this, copper sulfide is oxidized to copper oxide and then can be reduced with carbon at 500 to 600 Kelvin. Now let's see this process in detail. So we are to discuss the extraction of copper from copper pyrite, that is the sulfide ore of copper, that is the common ore by which copper is obtained. So after crushing process, we are having the powdered ore that go through the concentration process. And as we have already discussed the concentration process for the sulfides ore, we use the froth flotation method. During the froth flotation method, the powdered ore is taken into a big tank of water, to which we add the pine oil, and we are to use the collector as potassium or sodium ethyl xanthate that is to be added. A strong stream of air is passed by which the full mass is being agitated by the agitator and froths are developed. And as the ore is having the ability to wet with the oil, it goes with the froth and can be collected on the surface of the liquid, while the impurities are collected at the bottom, or you may say the impurities are settled in the bottom of the tank and can be separated from the ore. Now this concentrated ore which we would be getting from the froth flotation process will go through the roasting process. In the roasting process, as we have already discussed, the concentrated ore is heated below its melting point with the current of air on the hearth of reverberatory furnace. Now during roasting, there are number of changes that occur, that the sulfur, arsenic, antimony would be oxidized to sulfur dioxide and arsenic oxide and antimony oxide, and being volatile, they can be escape out, they can be removed. In the similar manner, we have taken the copper pyrite ore that would also be oxidized to give copper sulfide, iron sulfide and sulfur dioxide would be escape out. Now this copper sulfide and iron sulfide is partially oxidized to copper oxide and iron oxide. Cu2s plus O2 gives Cu2O and SO2. In the similar manner, FeS would be converted into FeO. Now in the mixture we are having copper sulfide, iron sulfide, copper oxide and iron oxide also. So we are having the mixture of these four because it has been partially oxidized only. So we have to go through the smelting process, and in the smelting process we see that we are to take the roasted ore with coke and silica to the Mordaunt blast furnace. And now it has been heated in the Mordaunt blast furnace with the excess of air. So what is the difference between the old blast furnace and the Mordaunt blast furnace? The difference is that in this case we are to take the same steel line blast furnace that is having the lined fire bricks inside the furnace. In that case we have discussed the lining was there of fire bricks of the blast furnace, but here we are having the fire bricks inside the furnace, and it is having the water jacket throughout the furnace. We are having the water jacket. Here we are not having the cup and double cup and cope arrangement, cone and cup arrangement we are not having here. We are having only a charging door to which waste gases can be removed and charging can also be done. So it is not very important. You would not be asked for the diagram of blast furnace, the Mordaunt blast furnace. You can only tell that in the Mordaunt blast furnace, that is around 15 to 20 feet in height and having the fire bricks inside the furnace, and it is having the outermost water jacket throughout, and a waste gas outlet is also there near the charging door. So now what happens in the smelting process? We are able to see the following changes occurs in the smelting process. The first one is that the cuprous oxide reacts with iron sulfide. As we are having these four: copper sulfide, iron sulfide, copper oxide and iron oxide, in which the FeS reacts with copper oxide to form FeO and copper sulfide. Why it is happening? As we all know that iron is having the more affinity with oxygen, or you may say that iron is more reactive than copper. So first all the FeS, how much FeS we are having, that would be first converted into FeO, and copper oxide again being converted to copper sulfide. Means first iron sulfide would be completely oxidized to iron oxide, and then only we would be able to oxidize copper sulfide. So iron is more reactive or having high affinity to oxygen than copper. So first all the iron sulfide oxidized to iron oxide, then only copper sulfide can be oxidized. So what we are to, हमारा aim क्या है? Our aim is to convert copper sulfide to copper oxide, but before that we have to completely convert iron sulfide to iron oxide. Some of the iron sulfide would be oxidized to iron oxide by cuprous oxide, and some of the iron sulfide would be directly oxidized by excess of air that we have passed through the blast furnace with the help of wires. So that would also be converted into FeO and SO2, and this FeO formed, we have taken the silica here, it would be react with it. Silica would be the silica it reacts to form FeSiO3. So it means we have taken here as the acidic flux, and this is the basic impurity. Both of them react to form slag, and slag being lighter than molten mass, the molten metal would be collected over the surface of the molten mass and can be removed. In the similar process as we have done in case of the old blast furnace. Now furnace consists of molten mass which is known as the matte. Now what we are having? We are having Cu2s and FeS. Because FeO is completely converted into the slag, we are having Cu2s and the little amount of FeS here. So we are to go through the next process that is known as Bessemerization process. What is Bessemerization process? Basically, Bessemerization process is to convert the copper sulfide ore to the copper. Here we are to take a apparatus known as the Bessemer converter, in which we are to, that is the pear-shaped structure, that is the pear-shaped steel vessel in which we are having the twiards attached to it, and it is mounted like this that it can be tilted in any of the direction. Here we are able to see that it is a pear-shaped steel vessel having the lining of silica, and the hot air and silica is also being entered by the twiards. So we are to take the molten matte and send. What is molten matte having? It is having Cu2s and little amount of FeS. So now what would be the changing that happens in this Bessemer converter? So here it is mounted like this that it can be tilted in any of the desired direction. So the first process that would be taken place is that FeS would be oxidized. The little amount of FeS that is being left is now being oxidized to FeO and SO2, and as we are having the lining of SiO2 and we have taken the silica with the hot air, the sand with the hot air, so it would react to form FeSiO3 again. The slag that would again being lighter would be collected over the surface of the metal, and now copper sulfide finally would be oxidized to copper oxide and sulfur dioxide. And as we have discussed in the reduction process, number of methods we have discussed the self reduction method. So here we are able to see that only partially copper sulfide would be converted into copper oxide. Now this copper sulfide react with this partially oxidized copper oxide to form molten copper, and sulfur dioxide would be formed. This is the example of self reduction that we have already discussed during the different reduction processes. So that is known as the self reduction. You may write it is self reduction. So now we are having the molten copper. Now this molten copper is being poured in the sand molds, and when the metal will cool, the SO2 would be escape out, and some of the SO2 would be entrapped during this solidification process that make blisters on the surface of metal. So this is known as the blister copper. So we are obtaining from the molten copper to the blister copper, which is having the 1 to 2% of impurities. Rest of means you may say 98 to 99% pure copper by this extraction process, and that can be purified or refined by the electrolytic refining method that we will discuss at last. When we will complete all the metallurgies, we will discuss all the purification method by which different metals can be purified. So the copper can be purified by the electrolytic refining that we will discuss later on. So you are to study it, read it in your book, make notes and try to learn it at the same time. Thank you.